Oh god, this is beyond messy. Taylor Swift is revealed to be a snake or a dragon. They're basically the same species, you know what I mean, by the way they look. And I'm pretty sure Candace Owens
is on crack.
For a different reason, not for her exposing Taylor Swift. And one thing I want to say, this Miss Americana's ass should be subpoenaed to court because her fingerprints are everywhere, all over this case. And another news, Justin Baldoni finally dropped the website that contains all the tea and drama and all the receipts. And I'm a bit underwhelmed by that, not gonna lie. I'll tell you why later. So hot show. My name is Akma and you're watching Not So Hot Show. A show about not hot stuff, like Taylor Swift being a reptilian. Kind of, yeah, you know, because she relies on outside source to keep her warm, you know, all this admiration. Oh my god, you're great. Taylor Swift, we love you. One negative criticism and she dies. And Candace Owens. I never thought I'm gonna talk about this lady on my channel. Yeah, but let's say that the thing she says is definitely not hot. By the way, the reason I think she's on crack and I want what she's smoking, because that thing is definitely hard. When I was watching her expose in Taylor Swift, I was like, let me give it a try. Because people gave like good reviews on, you know, her expose in Taylor Swift. I was like, okay, fine. And I watched them, like, okay, so far so good. Maybe she's not as, you know, crazy as I thought she was. And then it gets to the middle of the video and I'm like, never mind, I was not wrong about her, let's say that. From all the 100 shots that she takes, she misses maybe like 99 and one time she's right. Maybe about Taylor Swift she was right, that she was involved the whole time. But other 99 shit that she claims is just like so out of this fucking world. I'm like, girl, how? But yeah, let's dive right into it. So if you've been living under a rock, and I'm sure, oh my god, I wish, man, Patrick is fucking happy, isn't he? A TikToker, I don't know how nobody fucking thought of that, is to check the metadata of New York Times, and that's how it got exposed. This article against Justin Baldoni, you know, where he was exposed to be a
sexual harasser
month before, and there's metadata. I mean, this literally, all you have to do is just like right click on the image, shows, you know, like the HTML code, I think. I don't know why I never thought of that. But anyways, one TikToker exposed that. Basically what it shows that, you know, it's not that she, you know, just all of a sudden dropped the lawsuit and complained and then it somehow leaked to the Times, you know, from Blake. But apparently that it was, you know, ongoing plan to take down Justin, to take over this movie. And this lady right here had a lot to do with it because, you know, she distanced herself from Blake. All of a sudden she's like, oh, Blake, no, me run away from you. I love Taylor Swift. I love how she never supports anyone publicly who has a problematic image. She's not dumb. She keeps herself squeaky clean. You know, she might support you behind the scenes, what she did with Blake, but as soon as the hit hits the fan, she's gone. She's like, no, I'm not gonna. I know we're friends, but fuck that, no. Because she has $1 billion to protect. I mean, I get it. So you're probably asking how come these two ladies are like in the same topic, right? Because they're just so... But basically what Candace claims is that Taylor Swift was the mastermind of it all, which I might kind of agree to a certain degree, that Taylor Swift is all over it, that she's not as innocent as she claims, you know.
I'm taking a step back from our friendship,
you know, as she says. Candace did an investigation and she claims that Taylor Swift basically kind of sort of helped with taking down Justin, you know, because like basically Blake's not smart enough to do it herself. Orchestrate that New York Times crazy ass publication against Baldoni being a sexual harasser, because they're responsible for taking down Harvey Weinstein, and it was a huge thing. So you know what, they're not fucking around. I mean, they're of course looking for another sexual harasser to expose, definitely, and they thought, oh my god, this is great, and it's coming from credible sources. Her and her bestie.
I said what I said.
But anyways, how did this go? It all goes back to when she broke up with Joe Alvin, or whatever his name is, the British actor. They actually look like brother and sister, right? They kind of look similar, which is funny to me. But anyways, you know, he was a private guy and she was not seen, and then they break up. And I don't think she wanted to break up. And all of a sudden, you could see her everywhere in New York with her besties because she's hot and single, out and about. And I remember those times, you know, we kept seeing her picture everywhere in New York. I'm like, why am I seeing that? Now it makes sense because she just broke up with Joe Alvin and she wants to prove, oh my god, look at me, which kind of screams pathetic. In a way, I'll tell you why. Because Joe Alvin definitely knows how Hollywood works and that she called paparazzi on herself. And it's more like, look, I'm gonna shove my picture onto your face so you cannot escape me. Which is kind of a evil but smart move. And then it gets really dirty because she is seen hanging out with this New York Times reporter who was partially responsible for, uncovering Harvey Weinstein case. And he was a Pulitzer Prize winner, whatever, which, I mean, yeah, he's a feminist, and why shouldn't they hang out, right? I mean, she's a feminist, he's a feminist, whatever. He's a famous journalist, and they were friends since 2020, which makes sense. But what makes it fucking dirty is it's wiped clean from the internet. You cannot find the pictures of them hanging out all of a sudden. Some Swifties constantly saw them hanging out all the time, and then Candace Owens, she finds on the Russian website, I don't know what Russian website, Vkontakte, I don't know. She finds a photo or a video of her hanging out with this, New York Times reporter.
A woman emailed me and she said, Candace, I know this is really weird, but I so vividly remember all of these articles and images and videos of Taylor Swift hanging out with this New York Times reporter. And I can't find it anywhere. It's so weird. It's like her team has purged it from the internet. She's like, I'm a huge Swiftie. I remember seeing this and I just can't remember who that reporter was. And we were able to find it. You're going to see how many paparazzi are around, how many photographers are around taking pictures, videographers taking pictures of her with this particular journalist, okay? But it was indeed difficult to find this. We ended up finding it on a Russian search engine. Take a look and a listen.
Wait, excuse us.
Taylor, sleep tight.
Taylor, sleep tight. The person that you just saw saying good night to or sleep tight to Taylor Swift is none other than Ronan Farrow. He is, Ronan Farrow, without question, the father of the Me Too movement.
So that's where the guilty part comes in. Why would you all of a sudden wipe everything clean? I think that's where you're like,
Taylor, why?
if you're friends, you're friends. Because Hollywood is so small, right? You know each other. But basically, like, why would you wipe that from the internet? That makes no sense at all, right? So that's why it makes her look extremely dirty, as if she kind of facilitated this article. Maybe Blake came to Taylor's like, oh my God, I'm being sexually harassed by this guy. There's like, I want to take him down. Could you help me? She's like,
Oh, you know what? I know a reporter in New York Times who did that on Harvey Weinstein. Let me connect you two.
I mean, so what? So what? Like, you believed her words. If your friend comes to you and says, hey, I've been sexually harassed, I want to take this motherfucker down. Could you help me? Yeah, then I would do what like Taylor technically did, right? But wiping down that from the internet that you both hang out, like with this reporter, you and Taylor, then I'm like, I guess she doesn't want to be subpoenaed in the court. That's why she's like trying to erase the connection with her and that reporter. And that reporter is not the one who wrote this piece about Justin Baldoni. It's basically his friend. She could have claimed, hey, Blake came to me and I'm her best friend and she complained about, being sexually harassed on the set. And she said she wants to get a revenge on this guy. Then I connected with her with this reporter who knows, another reporter in New York Times, Mrs. What's her name? Jesus Christ. Megan Twohy, who wrote the piece on Justin Baldoni and named it We Can Bury Anyone. The reason I think her ass should be subpoenaed into the court, she had to do definitely more than
Connect Blake to New York Times to get that piece out.
There are rumors, speculations that she fired a composer that Baldoni hired for It Ends With Us. So you fire this guy, and then you get your music into the movie to be like the soundtrack of the movie.
Okay,
Yeah, definitely no collision there. Definitely you're super clean. Definitely, yeah. And I'm sure you hired your own guys, I don't know, from Ryan Reynolds' company, the editor, the composer, the whoever, just, again, to get the money to their company. Do you know what I mean? It always works like that. They're not dumb, because there's a budget for this movie from Sony. Who sucks out all the whole budget? These three people. And then you claimed that when you went up Justin Baldoni's apartment, you happened to see that they were not done with the meeting. That makes no sense because Baldoni claims that you supported Blake's script, which means you read her script.
I don't think she actually read her script. I think she's just like, yeah, go with her script.
Whatever. But you, again, weighed in your opinion, which again makes you kind of involved. And what makes you the most involved? You were the one who picked out the young actress of young Blake.
I hear that Taylor may have had some influence in getting
Yes, she did. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be saying it, but I'm saying it. Yeah, she was a helpful part of the process of the audition, which I found out later after I got it, and that rocked my world.
I had actually brought in and showed her casting tape to Blake and Taylor, and they were both like, yes, her. And that's a true story.
So that definitely makes her extremely involved in every way possible. So go into court and go and testify against or for Baldoni. It doesn't really matter, but I think you have some shit to tell because you had a lot of things to do with it and you decided to, you know, just push in your music into this movie as much as you could. She should tell the truth. I hope she will someday at some point. But I think she will definitely not be subpoenaed. I think she's definitely negotiating behind the scenes with the Baldoni's team to be like, do not fucking involve me because I will kill you. And Baldoni's like, Baldoni's not scared of Blake, but he's scared of her because, you know, she's that, you know, she's will come for your throat. Before we go to Candace Owens, let's dive into the topic of Justin Baldoni's website. As you know, I was waiting for this website to drop and I'm a bit underwhelmed because it's literally just like the PDF version of his complaint, the updated complaint with the metadata. But you know what I thought was going to be? It's going to be like a really cool website because they had some time to develop it and like AI can build a website now, right? Thought it's going to have like, you know, like old tabs and shit like that with like bunch of videos of, you know, what he released, right? This unedited 10-minute video where she claimed that he kept like kissing her, whatever. So I thought it's gonna be a bunch of behind the scenes videos or maybe some more audios, maybe more like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of content, text messages and stuff like that, just like piles and piles of them. Just like in the tabs, you know what I mean? Because we can sort it out ourselves, don't worry about it. But I thought it's gonna be more like an interactive, you know, but it's just 2 PDF pages, 2 PDF files. Anyway, so I'm a bit underwhelmed, you know, and the color of it all. Oh. Ew. So let's talk about Candace Owens. Why do I think she's on crack? I was watching her exposing Taylor Swift, right? And I was like, okay, this is going so far well. She's sticking to the fact. And I'm like, one eye open, one eye closed. Because I'm like, okay, I will give her a benefit of the doubt. You know, I'm not gonna like judge her because all I know her from wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, which I don't know, America and its like political statement like that. Anyways, and so I'm watching her in the middle of it. She brings out New York Times again, right, for exposing Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer. I'm not really sure was on New York Times or not, but basically him too. She says following.
Harvey Weinstein was accused of things that he hadn't done.
So basically not all of the things he has been accused of is correct. Accused of stuff that he didn't do, he's trialed unjustly, and that he, oh my God, girl. Her claim is that these elites of New York Times, these Nepo babies, she calls them, these reporters, are basically fabricating the stories and making these men fall down, innocent men fall down, including Harvey Weinstein. I don't think she claims that Harvey Weinstein is like innocent, but she says a lot of things that he was accused of was not true, and that's why his date in court has been like kind of rescheduled because he was unfairly tried, and I kind of researched this.
Breaking news out of New York right now, where the state's Court of Appeals decided to overturn the rape conviction of disgraced Hollywood movie producer Harvey Weinstein.
We conclude that the trial court erroneously admitted testimony of uncharged alleged prior sexual act against persons other than the complainants of the underlying crimes because of that testimony served no material non-propensity purpose.
Again, she's smoking crack. But more than 100 women came out against Harvey Weinstein. More than 100 women. Many of them are very famous actresses. I don't think all of a sudden, like Selma Hayek or Gwyneth Paltrow will be saying shit against Harvey Weinstein that is fake. Like, you cannot orchestrate 100 women. I don't care what Nepo baby you are, a journalist. You cannot orchestrate 100 women coming out against Harvey Weinstein. Yes, Harvey Weinstein basically was not allowed to defend himself properly or something like that. The judge also brought up women that were not included in the court filing or something like that. So that's why he's getting retrialed. Which, yes, he's getting now retrial to defend himself properly, but I'm sorry, even if he raped one woman, I think he deserves to be in jail for the rest of his life, doesn't he? And then she claims Matt Lauer was accused unjustly too. There were several women on staff coming out against Matt Lauer. I swear to God, I don't know who watches this woman. She is insane. She is like conspiracy theory crazy woman.
These reporters are digging out these women and then orchestrating coming out against these men. They haven't done nothing. They're just innocent men. Oh, I have 3 sons and I don't want them to be accused falsely of something that they hadn't done.
Because let's not forget about statistics, honey. About 95% of all the assaults are done by men. 2 women and 2 other men, right? They're either younger or less powerful. Powerful men definitely do a lot of this shit. If you go to Hollywood, if you meet these billionaires, the things they do, I mean, that's what Epstein Island is, right? Haven't you seen? Because these people are above the law. Next thing, what? Diddy's innocent? A lot of men in power, and power attracts narcissists, psychopaths, and everything. They will abuse anything and anyone they want at the top. So believe me, when top people get accused of something, especially like more than 50 people, 30 people. I'm sure definitely there's smoke where there's fire, right? Where there's fire, there's smoke, whatever. The thing she says is insane. She's bringing us to like medieval century. Innocent men. Do you know how until forever, until even now, so many women we were burned, we trialed, everything, beat everything. And still now, maybe in the US, some women get justice for, being mistreated, right? But in a lot of countries, I'd say maybe like 95% of other countries, men get away with so much shit you do not even know. In Kazakhstan, domestic violence, domestic abuse, man get nothing. Man kills a woman, man gets nothing. Woman defends herself, she goes to jail. I kid you not, go look at the statistics. Do you know how many women die yearly from men assaulting them, beating them? You do not know. Let's see the other statistics. You know how many women kill men yearly? Let's see the statistics. Looking at the large population, right? If 95% of all the sexual harassments, beatings, whatever, are done by men to women, right? That would also apply to the top 1% of the people, the billionaires, the rich stars, whatever. 95% of all the are done by men. Because you can't just claim to be a woman of science and statistics, right? So if 95%, okay, let's say even 90% of the whole population, right? If we take that, of all the crimes committed, sexual harassment, beating, whatever is done by men to women, don't you think the same would apply to the top 1%? Yeah, so you know what? I'm afraid for your 3 sons to be brought up the wrong way, to do whatever they want. Because you seem to protect men. And you know what? She says, oh, like, where's the due diligence? Where's the due justice? I do agree there should be due justice. When the man is being accused of something, there should be due justice. He should be able to defend himself, prove the proof. But I will believe women first before I believe the men the otherwise. You know what I mean? In this case of Baldoni and Blake, let me seize the situation. And then I assessed and I was like, yeah, Baldoni's right here. I think Blake is bluffing here. It's not like I'm blindly defending women. No. I mean, that's why these cases where women falsely accused men is very, very much publicized, like with Johnny Depp.
And now Blake Lively.
And then I went to this rabbit hole of hers. Like, she claimed that the vaccine is a hoax. And then she claims the wife of French President Emmanuel Macron
is a transgender
and a pedophile. Listen, a broken clock shows the time right twice a day. I understand. But when you miss 99 shots you take out of the 100, I think she's talking whatever fucking comes to her mind. She always tries to get into this left and then see what they're doing wrong. Even if Macron's wife is a transgender, who gives a shit? Because yes, public is not ready for a president with a transgender wife. Let's say if it's true, right? But the other thing, her being almost 30 years older than Macron, I get it. That's a bit weird. Like, I never defend, especially she was his teacher. She saw him when he was 14, 15, and then she married him. I don't care. I don't find that normal in any way. If you met when he was 30 and you're 60, fine. 25 and you're 55, that's fine. But as a teacher or any figure of, when there's imbalance of power, I don't find that's okay. I think there should be like a law everywhere throughout the whole world that if somebody was ever your teacher, you never should be able to date them or marry them or anything like that. I don't care how much you're in love. It just shouldn't be. Like, I find it weird. Also, when I was at the university, a couple of girls dated the professors and then ended up marrying them, and I'm like, that's not okay. Like, my dad is a professor. I'm like, I cannot imagine. Like, it's so horrible. It's just horrible. So yeah, I don't defend that. And then she brought up pedophilic books and that Macron read, and he likes the author that is pedophilic. That's a bit of a different thing that I'm like, yeah, that's definitely fishy. Like, I'm not getting into that. But let's talk about family values. That she's like pro-right, whatever. The whole right wing, the Trumps, they talk about family values. Oh, Trump cheated on his wife with a porn star? Every right-wing politician I know cheated on his wife with something, and then they talk about family values. I'm sure they pay for abortion under the table. They get them to another state and they pay for their abortion.
I'm sure about that.
Vaccine is a hoax. Yeah, they don't work, and they're all just out there by the government to make everybody stupid and insane. Because, before we had diseases like smallpox, we had polio, we had measles, rubella, and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, they're kind of gone, and they're resurfacing again because people are just not getting vaccines anymore. So let people get polio again, because definitely vaccine causes autism. Yeah, sure. All I'm trying to say is I would take anything that this woman says, and I wouldn't glorify her for exposing Taylor Swift in any way, form, or possible, because I do not believe the judgment of a person who thinks that, for instance, if the earth is flat, and that person definitely believes that the earth is flat, and then claims other stuff. Of course, they might be wrong about one thing and right about the other thing, but if as basic of a judgment as not believing in a vaccine is very fundamental. Like, it just talks about your ability to critical think about the vaccines, about the sexual harassment case or whatever, or like even the Harvey Weinstein or Matt Lauer, which she claims was innocent. All of these cases reflects on her judgment. And she applies the same judgment on other things.
What I'm trying to say, she has confirmation bias because she only collects evidence that supports her fucking delusions, like with vaccines. Yeah, so how can you believe that person? It's like if a person was convinced that the sun is blue, but then they tell you that the grass is green. You're like, okay, the grass is green, but why the fuck do you think the sun is blue? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Sometimes it might be like mix and match. Sometimes maybe the way she thinks does coincide with certain things that to be right, but most of the cases not, because the way she thinks is very faulty, if you know what I mean, because she is very biased. And that's the problem of being too left, too right, too whatever politically. I think you should be very, very open. And I gave her a try. I watched a couple of her things, but her videos, and I was like so shocked. And I was trying to listen with an open mind, but I was like, no. So I guess kudos to you for exposing Taylor Swift in this whole case. I mean, great, but guys, please be careful. Like, don't start watching her all of a sudden. One thing I'll tell you guys, never, ever, ever believe a word of somebody who's extremely biased. If they have a crazy political belief or some sort of conspiracy theory, Illuminati, some sort of like New World Order, whatever, I mean, just say like, because they are brainwashed to the point of they cannot see any other point in life besides that. Some people like me, you know, I'm still like super open, right? I know I might be wrong. Maybe in the future somebody will say to me, oh, 99% of things you said in the video were wrong. And I'll be like, at the time I thought it was right, but maybe you're right, I was wrong.
I'm open to be proven wrong.
Please don't watch this lady. She is not only on crack, she's also on heroin and any other thing. But she looks great, her skin is great, but she's definitely taking something. Anyways, my name is Akma and thank you for watching Not So Hot Show. I am on Spotify and I have great music, so make sure to listen to that. The link is in the description below. My artist name on Spotify is LaRamka. I'm sure you're gonna like my music, but yeah, this has been a crazy week. Stay sane. Love you, bye.
So hot show. That's hot. No, it's not. Like literally.